Shit is getting real. It's getting real. The old world is officially dead. It's dead and gone. All the BS is coming up to the surface. Everyone's exposing everything online, and it's going to keep happening over and over again until literally everything's been exposed and cleansed. We are in the middle of a huge worldwide cleanse. This is a good thing overall, and long term we're gonna have to go through a serious period of chaos to get there where we want to be. And let me tell you, people are gonna lose their shit. People are gonna completely lose their shit. Okay, the majority of people have never heard of healing, have never done any shadow working, they're gonna lose their shit. It's gonna be a mess. Two things you want to seriously master during these crazy times. Feeling. You really want to learn to feel the things, to feel your emotions deeply. Feeling is gonna be your best friend in the coming times. And I have a whole video explaining how to feel the process of feeling, which is basically breathing your emotions out, which is basically emotionally going to the toilet, okay? Basically. But more importantly, what you want to start mastering, developing is self-awareness. And that's what this video is about today. Self-awareness, building self-awareness. Self-awareness is important because we are slowly realizing now that everything's being exposed, everyone's sick of the BS, opening up about all the things they've been through, they never wanted to talk about, how they've been oppressed. And we really see this, I'm fed up of this nonsense. We see that a lot going on online, right? Toxic people, narcissists, different demographics oppressing another demographic, oppression in general, racism, sexism, everything. All the bad behaviors are being called out, and that's great. But what we are starting to realize through that is that there is a clown. There is a little clown in everyone. In every one of us. We're slowly starting to realize that, well, it felt great to complain and to put it out there, all the frustration that has been accumulated all these years. But wait a minute. And I also pressing people myself. I'm not perfect, no one is. You're gonna slowly start realizing that a lot of things you've been complaining about, well, you've done to other people as well. You're complaining about a group of people oppressing you, not realizing you're literally doing the same thing to another group of people. Favorite example, Black men complaining about systemic oppression, discrimination, being considered inferior and denied access to their basic rights, working spaces, made to remain at a certain level of consciousness so they can't evolve, exploited by the system, used by the system. So you're going to have a lot of Black men complaining about that situation. Look at how the system is built against us, to use us, to keep us exactly where we are, in a place where we are forced to serve a certain group of people. That's exactly what they are doing to women, for example. That's literally identical. It is the same thing. There is no difference between Black men and white people in terms of historical and systemic oppression. It is identical. Not everyone is realizing that yet, but slowly people are going to start getting to that place. I want to start addressing this. I want to start helping anyone finding this video to realize how important it is to build self-awareness, because the bullshit is everywhere, and the bullshit has no color, it has no gender. The bullshit is here, okay, paying attention, waiting for a moment to sneak in and spread chaos. So it was never about one group against another, it was always about yourself and yourself only. Huge wind as I'm saying this. It's between you and yourself, you and your BS. Perfection is not the goal, it's impossible to attain anyway, but it's about at least not being a huge clown and not literally embody the complete opposite of what you're fighting for. It's about making sense here. And so basically self-awareness is about building coherence, meaning it's working in direction of the change you want to see in the world. It's about staying focused, but more importantly, shifting the focus toward yourself instead of constantly criticizing the external world. It's about looking at yourself and asking yourself, am I actually embodying what I preach, or am I just like them at the end of the day? It's about checking yourself, checking your behavior, your beliefs, so that you can contribute positively to the change in the world. And we're still in a phase where too many people don't get that the problem is literally themselves. Understanding this shifted everything for me. I realized how deep certain beliefs were in me and how it was so negatively contributing to maintaining the oppression of so many groups the way it was. And that's a huge paradox. To fix the world, we really have to go within. Perfection is not the goal. Working towards meaning, is the goal. So obviously, to get to a place where you start building self-awareness, you have to heal, you have to meet your inner child, you have to understand your life, your childhood, your trauma. I don't need to cover this. Shadow working is your friend, but something I want to share with you that is extremely powerful to build self-awareness is to set intentions, is to practice setting intentions for everything that you do. To literally ask yourself this question: what am I doing this for? What do I want to get from this experience? Why am I doing this? With the destination, determine the destination very clearly. Take your time. You'll realize a lot about sometimes what you do, how off tracks you can be sometimes, how not aligned you can be sometimes, and this really goes for everything. Conversations, interactions, just meeting new people, any project you're developing, fixing a conflict, whatever it is. Set your intentions. What do I want to get from this situation? Why am I having this conversation? Where is it going? And in general, from your life, what do I want to get from this life? Where am I going? Setting intentions is everything. It's literally a compass. It's giving directions to your mind, because your mind, if you don't give it direction, it's going to jump into the familiar and go back to the familiar right away. And you and I know the familiar is toxic as hell. Okay, you don't want to go back to what's familiar. So you have to constantly do this little check-in and ask yourself, wait, what am I doing? Am I still being aligned right now? Or am I just following my ego, my insecurities? Am I being judgmental right now? Oops, I think that was my inner room speaking and not my heart. I need to realign. It's going to help you realize, wait, I think I'm judging this person. I don't know why I'm being triggered by them. It's not them, it's me. Let me sit with this. Let me understand, why am I feeling so triggered by them? I don't want to be judgmental. I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be like this. I want to understand and just take back the responsibility of the way you feel, instead of passively experiencing your triggers, passively letting your trauma and your ego take over, speak in your place, and basically be a ball of chaos. I insist on this because honestly, I gotta say, so many people are so toxic and unaware. And I think it's a toxic trait to be obsessed with the external world, to be constantly criticizing others without having the self-awareness to think, wait, what about me? All these things that I criticize, all these behaviors that I don't like, am I like this myself? It's about bringing clarity in your mind and be in a place where you're going to be able this time to, one, see yourself, but also receive constructive criticism or boundaries. Take the time to take a step back and realize, oops, that was me. Sorry. True. I personally think it is because most people are unable, incapable of that the world is in that state, that there's war, that people can help fighting each other. Incapability of seeing themselves, of bringing awareness towards themselves and the fact that maybe it was them. Maybe they are the one who fucked up. This brings about accountability and then apologizing, and all of these things are very triggering, right? Difficult for the ego. When you never look within, you never give yourself permission to think, maybe I'm imperfect because I'm human. It gives something like that. Like this guy right there. Okay, a ball of chaos, a ball of toxicity, so toxic and unaware, unable to receive any criticism, getting offended very easily. What do you want to do with that? What can we do with that? And this person's in charge of the whole country. That's literally the world we live in. The toxicity was so real they had to poison the guy. Seriously. Seriously. I think we are getting in a place where we seriously need to start asking ourselves, what kind of world do we want to live in? Take into account the fact that we've hurt each other so much. We are talking at least hundreds of years of murder, of sexual abuse, of war on one another. All of us, we've hurt one another. We all need to seriously go within and ask ourselves, what do we want? What kind of world do we want to live in? And we have to go within and seriously talk, meet our inner misogynist, meet our inner racist, meet our inner homophobic, then meet all of the beliefs associated with these topics and not judge ourselves. You have to understand that whatever it is that you believe is just a programming. We've all been programmed. And I think one of the main reasons why people struggle so much with self-awareness and accountability is the shame. The shame of having certain beliefs. A lot of people don't want to accept that they have this within them, that they think the way they do. And it's extremely important to remember that we have all been programmed. These beliefs were injected in us. Have compassion for yourself. From trauma to society's conditioning, all of this built a database of programming that we now have to debunk, to erase and rebuild from scratch. That's an enormous amount of work. So it's pointless to be judgmental toward yourself, to feel shame about the beliefs that you have. It's about meeting them though, because meeting them is the only way to remove them. So it's about meeting your inner racist, meeting your inner misogynist, and try to understand, okay, why do I think that? What do I want now? And just slowly start shifting your beliefs to a place where these beliefs are yours now and no longer the system's. Does it mean that now you're gonna literally be welcoming to just everyone and anybody, vibe with whatever? Absolutely not. On the complete opposite, now your beliefs are going to be yours. It's about rebuilding your own beliefs based on your core values, what works for you. But this time, at least, it will come from a place of knowing, from a place of love, and from a place of complete acceptance of everybody. When you start seriously tapping in your self-awareness and understanding who you are, then you become very powerful, but more importantly, you become unfuckwittable, because you literally know who you are. And people won't be able to blame you for things you didn't do, because you just know that's not what it was. You become seriously powerful. You also start detecting when things are fishy, not very aligned, where people are not embodying what they preach, and where there is a big gap between who they say they are and how they actually act. You're going to start seeing that too. But that's the price to pay for self-awareness and to want to build a world that actually makes sense this time. I'm gonna say it once again, it's not about becoming perfect. It's about getting to a place where you know exactly who you are and what you want. You make sense. You will make mistakes anyway. When you do, you'll be able to understand that, or at least receive the information that you made a mistake, recognize it, apologizing, be accountable, working towards change and bettering yourself and moving on. And that's just the world we should be living in, where there isn't this ego resistance to change, to accountability, to apologizing. Things are just fluid like that. That's what I personally consider a perfect society. That's at least what I'm aiming at. And so I started by working on myself and giving myself permission to be human, to be imperfect. So yeah, I wanted to bring awareness on that today, and I really hope this hit the right spot. Whoever found this video, I hope we'll be able to create something wonderful together, something meaningful. So I'm gonna leave you there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.